All right, here it is, the VXR-28. This is a very difficult model. And I mean that. It's a very difficult model, and you're also going to have to be very patient if you want to make this jet, and you're also going to have to be very good. So before we get into the tutorial, let's take a look. So it's got two air intakes right here, a color change cockpit, two front exhausts, two tail fins, and not sure if you can see it, but it's got two afterburners. So before we get into the tutorial, I'll show you guys this thing in flight, and then we'll see what you can do. So yeah, but I'm warning you one more time. This is a very difficult model. Do not bother trying to do this unless you are very good. All right, this is your last warning. All right, let's see this thing in flight. If you want like a flight model, foil paper would be a good idea. But if you want paper to practice, then I think this would be a good choice. Canson marker paper, 11 by 14 inch. It's really good paper for practice on this plane. So now that we got that out of the way, let's actually start folding the model. All right. First off, fold the diagonals like this. Turn it over. And then you're gonna want to fold. This is kind of a judgment fold. This base I'm trying to do is kind of frustrating to figure out, but it's fine. Just do a judgment fold right here. Something like that should be fine. Fold the paper in half like this. Fold this big flap down here. Same thing on your other side, just match it up like that. Alright, pull the big flap out of there, that big old flap. Squash, and then fold along here, and make sure that this crease comes to a point that stops there, where like the crease is. Kind of something like that. And then fold this triangle over like this. And fold that, squash. Sorry, just give me a second here. It's kind of a frustrating base to figure out. Now, if you guys might recognize this base as the 5-point preliminary base, and it's quite a fun base to fold. Actually, it's really cool. All right, fold this edge up, this triangle up. I mean, as far as it can go. fold these creases down again, because you're gonna need them for like the next step. And now you're gonna inside reverse fold those creases like just like how I'm gonna do. So basically, what you just did is that, like, you inside reverse folded those creases into the model. Alright, there should be like a long flap here. You're going to want to just squash that down like this. And this also might be one of my most detailed jets. Alright, next step is going to be relatively difficult. Watch this. Just going to make a rabbit ear fold here. Alright, fold it back out, and then form back the model, and collapse it back in. And then there should be like a extra layer of paper. You're gonna want to swivel that over like this. Okay. This next step is going to be pretty awkward. You're going to want to take these two triangles and then swivel them over to the sides, like this. Sorry if I go off frame. But yeah, you should have something like that. Then fold this big triangle back down. Just removing all that slack from these flaps right here. All right, and then under here there should be like a partially made pedal fold right there. You're gonna want to do this, what I'm doing a couple of times. Just to really get that crease down. Alright, then fold the flap over here to get it out of the way. Fold this flap down. Fold this flap back up. Same thing on your same thing on the other side. Alright. And then with these creases you made under there, oh man, this is going to be quite a hard step. Alright. So you're going to want to kind of open it up right here, then put your finger inside there, and then try to get it in there so that it pops up like that. And then with your thumb and your other fingers, you're going to want to try to shape this into like a diamond shape. Even I'm kind of having a difficult time with this. I'll show you what I mean in a second. This right here, this is what I mean. Where I collapsed that pocket into a diamond shape like that. Sorry if I stutter. I'm just silly like that. Okay, so keep that folded down for now. And you're gonna want to try to make the water bomb base with these sides by doing this. Or just a collapse fold. It's kind of tricky, but it's alright. It's still possible and you'll get it done. Alright, there's a big flap there, just squash it down. And if you use like just printer paper or notebook paper, then yeah, this is gonna turn out very small. So don't fold it with notebook paper or printer paper unless you want a very small model. Although that would have been pretty cool, but very difficult to fold. Alright, make a pedal fold up here. Just try to make sure it's lined up and perfect. You're gonna want to get those creases precise. Alright, same thing on the other side, just pedal fold the other side. And you're definitely gonna want to get these creases very precise. So it's because that these layers right here these layers right here will form the tail fins, and this up here will form the cockpit. Okay. Alright, fold this over like this. Those will be the tail fins. And then try your best to match the other side. You just kind of try to eye it out. Alright, and now we're gonna make the cockpit. So you fold this up here. As far as you can, like this. If there's slack right there, then that's okay. Alright. This is going to be kind of a weird part, so I'm going to explain quite a lot right here, because it'll be a bit difficult to make the cockpit. So what you're going to do is, you're going to put your finger, you're going to try to open it up here, and then put your finger in there. And then once you like got that open, you're gonna drag this layer up like that. And then when you think you got it, just flatten it like this. And then try to make the other side so it looks equal. Just watch. Put your finger in there. Open it up. Fold that to the center. I'm sorry if I kind of blocked it, but if you made cockpits before on jets, then thankfully I think you should know this. But anyway, this tutorial isn't for beginners. So I recommend you go check out some easier planes if you're trying to fold this but you're not really doing well. Alright, and now, before we squash down the cockpit, we're gonna actually try to open this back up again. Fold those layers out, and then give me a second. Okay. Just try to fold this. Just try to push it up further like that, and then squash it back down, or just form it back down. And then you're gonna try to police this so that the cockpit is equal. But anyway, if you kind of mess this part up, then that's alright, cause the cockpit doesn't really help the jet with flying anyway. It just makes it look cool, you know, like it makes it look really cool. Alright, but if you're still doing this part, then good job. Alright, just squash down the cockpit like this. And then try to pedal fold. Try to pedal fold the cockpit like this. Then you should have something like this. Alright, fold that back. And then you're gonna fold it back up like this, but not all the way to the nose. And then you should have something like that. And now we're gonna reinforce the front of the plane, kinda, by folding these edges a bit further inside there, so that it makes this part, or not that part, but this layer of paper a bit more skinny. So here's what I mean. Go like that, and then like this. But trust me, these creases really help with making the fighter jet look, well, like the fighter jet. Okay, fold that back up, just to get the creases well. And then you're gonna actually want to unfold those creases, and then fold it back up. And then refold those creases in there, like that. Wait, did I say fold inside the model? Well, we're not actually folding inside the model, we're folding it outside the model, but it still reinforces the front of the plane. So that's basically all we need. And man, I swear, if this tutorial is like an hour long, oh my god. that's a pretty long tutorial, huh? Alright, fold it back down. Fold it back up with the creases you already made. And then just to go over of how it's going to be shaped, these, I don't know if you can see it. This big pocket right here is going to form the front exhausts. Kind of like in there. Fold it back up. Alright, now we're gonna reinforce the fins to, yeah, we're gonna reinforce the fins, so, or actually, no, first we're gonna make the canards, like right there. And this is gonna be kind of a difficult step, so pay attention. You're gonna wanna pick up the model, and then there should be one flap right here. You're gonna wanna rabbit ear fold this flap. Like this. And you're gonna try not to unfold the whole entire model. But yeah, this is kind of a difficult step. And then once you have your rabbit ear, then you're gonna collapse it back in. But you might be wondering, Nick, what the heck is that? Well, that's gonna be the canard. Alright, do the same thing on the other side. Rabbit ear. Very, very tricky step. If you actually get this, then you are very good at origami. And the wings, they're automatically reinforced just by how he folds the base. Alright. Fall back into tail fins. Just to crease those down again. Alright. But the reason why we're making these folds and unfolding them a lot is because you're going to need these folds so that you can always form back the tail fins again. Alright, so now, to make the canards kind of match with the tail fins, you're going to want to try to swivel the rabbit ear over like this. It's kind of tricky, but you're going to get it. I believe in you. But you're trying to fold it a bit. Or actually not fold it, so swivel it a bit more up like that. Alright, same thing on the other side. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I'm just trying to eye out that they're both equal. So that I can get it correct and then I can move on to the tutorial. Fold back in the tail fin so that they kind of match up with the canards like this. And now we're gonna reinforce the tail fins finally by doing this. It's kind of simple but tricky at the same time. It also locks the canards in place. Because you can see here that there's this big, not big, but there's this little pocket we made, but when you flatten it down, it kind of holds on to the canards right there. So that's why you're also going to want to really firmly crease that down. Very good. Just use an object or whatever, like scissors or something, or a stone. Just push that down very hard. And then once you got that, you're going to do the same thing. Reinforce the fin like this. Always make sure that it's folding overlapping over the canard like that. And to be honest, I always get that feeling where like I always want to just jet fold the model, but you can't do that when in the middle of the tutorial. But yeah, sometimes I get that feeling. So now that you got that, you're gonna swivel these up a bit more. It's kind of tricky, but it gets the job done. Kind of to where it matches right there at that line. And I'm using the Canson, the recommended paper for a flight model. And then once you think you got that, you're going to want to firmly crease that down. Or you're going to do the same thing, just swivel this up to where it matches that line. Alright, now you're gonna kind of reinforce the canards by putting your finger inside it. Then push that into the model. And then get it back out like this. Don't push it in too far though. I already made that mistake. Whoopsies. And then once you got, and then now we're gonna reinforce the canards. So how we're gonna reinforce the canards is that you're gonna try to put your finger in here, and then try to put it in the model and then back out like this. Kind of tricky to get equal, but it's good. And then swivel the tail fin so that it matches with the canard, and wraps it and lock it in. And make sure the reinforcements on the wing, I mean not the wing, the tail fin stay the same. Just like that. Alright, same thing on the other side. Reinforce the canard. Just make it go inside the model, and then swivel it back out. Alright, and then now what you're gonna do is that you're gonna turn it over, fold this flap back up, and then squash fold this. Right now I'm just using scissors to firmly crease this, but soon I'll probably get like a stone or a crystal or something like that. But yeah, that's cool. Anyways, you're gonna swivel this flap over to my left, and you're gonna swivel it as far as you can to the left, but without ruining the canards or anything else over here. Firmly crease it. Alright, and then sew the wing back out like this. Just try to make the wing as big as you can when you swivel it out, because then that's how you can pleat it back in to make the air intakes and the afterburners. Or at least gives you enough space to do that. Anyways, once you got that, you're gonna open up the model like this, and then we're gonna reinforce the wings, even though it's already kind of reinforced by the base, but we're gonna reinforce it even more, I guess. I guess. Alright. Swivel this to this line right there inside the model. It might be kind of thick there, but you'll get the job done. And then just pedal fold this right here. And then firmly crease it down. I'm tired of using scissors just to firmly crease things down. I'm just silly like that. Yeah, just silly. Anyways, once you got that, you're gonna swivel the wing so that it matches up with this layer right here. or at least try to. Even though it might be a bit tricky to do. And yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said this model was hard. Helpful that. And try to police it so that it stays over there. Try to stuff that in a bit more. Then try to remove any slack inside the fuselage and the wings. Okay. Now we're going to do the same exact process here on the other side. Squash fall down. Just bear with me for a second because it might take me a bit to do the same thing. Swivel the wing over. Kind of tricky, but it's alright. You get the job done. And I'm trying not to mess up the canards over here because that's pretty much what we need for the plane to fly. Man, that took a bit longer than it needed to, but it's all right. You see what I mean by like some slack? There's a bit of slack right there. Like you want to try to rub it off like that, like literally just rub it off. And then once you do that, you have a better chance at your plane flying. Because literally what's supposed to do when you remove slack on this plane is to help it fly. Alright, we're gonna reinforce the wings again. Just sew that right to the line. Beautiful. And also, if I have any issues, kind of like how Jason Merrill once had, where people complain to me about how hard this jet is, then you just can't follow directions. That literally is it. No argumental purposes. You literally just can't follow directions. All right, reinforce the other side like this. bit tricky. Pedal fold again. Man, I just want to jet fold them all already. But we'll get to that part in a little bit because I'm sure you want to as well. So yeah, you're not alone, man. You're basically on the same page as me. Or I don't know if you're a man or a girl, so I don't know. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you are successfully able to fold this jet. Alright. Fold this back down. And then try to make some sort of pedal fold right there. It's not really a pedal fold, it's just fold these into the center. Or not really the center, but just folding it like this to a point. And then you literally are just gonna fold that up and stuff it in the model. I know it's an unusual step, but it's what you're supposed to do for this plane. Fold that in like that. Fold that in like this. It's kind of thick there, but it'll help reinforce the fuselage. Alright, now before we jet fold the model, we're gonna do what forms the air intakes and the afterburners. You're gonna swivel the wing over here like this, and then back out like that. Just trying to see if I did it right. Which I don't think I did. But that's okay. Fold them all in half so they can do the exact same process and then make it equal. Man, it's really, really hard to get this, even for me. Sorry. Imagine this tutorial is like an hour long. That would have been cool though. And if this tutorial actually is an hour long, then I'm gonna be surprised. Alright, I'm gonna check if I did that right. I'm gonna look over the model off camera. And air intakes, afterburners. Afterburners. And then air intake. Alright, yep. I did it correctly. I always like to do that so that I can make sure I actually did the plane correctly for you guys. Alright. Jet folding this model is going to be quite a challenge, so prepare yourselves. You're going to want to try to start it right here and just want to push it over. It's going to want to try to fight with you, the paper, so don't let it do that. It's going to try to fight with you. This plane's kind of strong, fighting against me. Come on, this is very thick for me. And yeah, reinforce the nose quite well because it's very thick up there. But don't try to jet fold it too much because that can make the model look funky and just not right. Like maybe something like this is fine. Sorry, just bear with me for a second. Because this is taking quite a while and it's very difficult for me to even get. Alright, now you're going to want to very carefully and very firmly fold the wings up. Alright, same thing on the other side. Okay, this is kind of heavy. I know, it sounds like I'm just being dramatic, but really, it's that thick. Alright, you're almost done, But there's still a few things more you need to do. Like standing up the tail fins properly, forming the front exhausts, and making the air intakes and afterburners. Okay, first we're gonna stand up the tail fins. Should look something like that. Reminds me of Jason Merrill's F-35. And then you just swivel the canards to where you need. Sorry if I go off frame a bit. But yeah, it should look something like that. Alright, we're gonna form the front exhausts. To make the front exhausts and air intakes, I recommend you get a 1 second. A pencil. Look at it. It's a pencil. The most amazing thing ever. Okay, that was way too dramatic. Alright. But to make the front exhausts, you're going to put this pencil, try to get in there, and then just twist it around in there. And then once you got that, you're going to try to squash it like that. And then use the pencil to pop it back out. And your fingers. Alright, that's one front exhaust finished. Now and then you do the exact same process on the other side to make the other front exhaust. Alright. Put your pencil in there. Twist it around as good as you can. Squash it. Use your pencil to pop it out. And then your front exhaust in here. Your front exhausts should look, I don't know if you can see it, but something like that. If you got that, then you're doing good. Alright, and then here's how you shape the afterburners. So there should be like, if I pull the wing over here, there should be like a little line where my pencil is pointing. You're going to want to put the pencil inside of there, leading up to it being a pocket. It might be a bit difficult to get it open. Just give me a second. Let me just try to put my pencil in there and open it up off camera. Sorry, just bear with me for a second here. I'm just trying to get this right. Alright. So the afterburner should look a bit like that, but we're going to form the air intake on the other side, and that should fix it so that it doesn't look as bad. So it's the same thing. There should be like a little line right there. You're going to want to put your pencil in that line. I'll form the air intake off camera. All right. And then if you put your pencil in there deep enough, there's the little air intake. And now, since you did that, you should be able to form the afterburner better. I'll do that off camera because it takes quite a while to do on screen, and it'll just look annoying. You can skip this part if you want because, oh man, this is taking a while. Oh man. All right, finally. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see it, but there's the little afterburner right there, the tiny little afterburner. And unfortunately, you have to do the exact same thing on the other side, from the air intake and the afterburner. And I'll do it on camera this time, just so you can see how it really looks. Made the air intake. Then try to make the afterburner. These steps are kind of the most trickiest ones in the plane because it's difficult to shape. All right. And then if you're not really able to even form afterburners or air intakes, then you probably didn't do something right. But yeah, you have this is a finished VXR-28. Just the final step really is optional. You can just shape it until you're satisfied, and then start flying and enjoy. Now, the origami tutorial is over. You guys can click off if you want, but if you're still here, then I just want to say I'm coming out with a new model soon too. It's called Dominus. It's a stealth bomber. Let me find it. There it is. It's this right here. This is a new model that will be coming out soon. Dominus. It's not as detailed as the other planes I made, but it's still really cool looking plane. And yeah, I just wanted to say that this is coming soon as well. It's got color change cockpit and 2 elevators, and a locking mechanism fuselage. And this one flies pretty well as well. So yeah, I was just doing some advertising at the end of the video, but if you're finished and you actually made this jet, then you are very, very good at origami. You, like, just wow. Just one word, wow. Because this is probably one of my most difficult models yet. And it was even difficult for me to even show how to make this. So, I hope you guys enjoyed and that you made a successful VXR-28. And subscribe, hit the like button, please. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.